is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning into another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic week. And look, I already have a lot of questions coming my way about the A.J. Brown stuff, Nakobe Dean stuff. Appreciate all of you. That's what these shows are for. And every Wednesday, we will be here for the initial injury report. So every week, you can always look forward to this time and update. And I know there's always very key updates, we're all looking for after these games. And sometimes they'll give us a little nibble, but sometimes we just got to wait for these injury reports. So that's what we're here to talk about today in week 5, already upon us. Eagles 4-0, let's effing go. But we're here to talk about not only they, but their week 5 opponent. So I appreciate you all taking the time here today. Hope you're all enjoying yourselves. Appreciate you hitting that like button, subscribing, the hype up stuff you can do now, all the things you can do to support the channel that you're out there doing. I can't thank you enough for that. But we did get some news about Nakobe Dean earlier, and I'm excited about it. And I'll briefly touch upon it here in a second as we go a little further into this. But they did activate his 21-day window. So therefore, he can practice for the next 3 weeks. And at some point, they have to take him off that PUP list or his season is over. So it's not technically back just yet, but he had that 21-day window opened. And then Antoine Powell-Ryland, the draft pick, is now back on the practice squad. So that went down today. Now let's take a gander at these injury reports for both the Eagles and their week 5 opponent, the Broncos, and some important ones to look at here. And, the Eagles clearly put some guys on IR, and I'll show you the update there, but we're looking at a couple more important ones. Dallas Goedert did not practice today with a knee injury. Lane Johnson, shoulder, he was limited. Nakobe Dean, again, as mentioned, he was back at practice in a limited capacity. Jalen Carter and Adoree Jackson as well with their respective injuries. So we're going to keep our eyes on this report. Hopefully Goedert can continue to improve. If not, Howie Roseman, get on the phone, trade for Michael Mayer, do something, dude. But yeah, please be healthy, Goedert. This team is completely different. Without him, he is one of the best tight ends in the game. Really sucks. Hopefully Lane and everyone else is good to go for this game. We'll see if Adoree Jackson can get his job back. And Nakobe, I'll talk about him in a second here. And obviously we want Jalen Carter. Now, this IR I mentioned, holy hell. We've got a lot of guys on there now. Once we've added, Darius Cooper, and now we just added Charlie Hewlett, and Okoronkwo's season is over. You've got Nolan Smith on there, and dude, it's just wow. But Miles Hinton, he's designated to return. He should have to come off here directly pretty soon. And then Nakobe Dean is also designated to return now. So you can see all the injuries piling up a little bit, and we know it's football and it sucks, but we're just the next man up, baby. That's why depth is key here. And looking at the offense, losing guys like Johnny Wilson, Ben Van Sumeren, Darius Cooper, it's unfortunate, but, Latu is stepping up. And you've got other guys around the, depth wide receiver. Gibson's there. And, Goedert being out, that sucks. But, again, you have Calcaterra, Granson, Latu as your third, fourth tight end. Clearly if Goddard's out, he's your third. You see the line there. Hopefully these guys are all healthy. Good to go. Lord help us. And on the defense, Nolan Smith being out, big bummer there. Okoronkwo, his season is over again. So Ojulari, maybe it's his turn to step up, but I don't know. I really think Hunt, Smith, Uche, and Johnson, I don't know that you really need 5. So we'll see what they do with Ojulari. Maybe they use him in a trade piece, get a tight end. We'll see. But maybe they want to get a corner. Regardless, hopefully everyone else good to go. Campbell, Vaughn, not on that list. That's great. Adoree Jackson, again, we'll see if he loses that spot to Ringo or not. And then in special teams department, Will Shipley is back, and we've got our new long snapper with Hewlett going on IR, and he'll be out a couple of months. So Cal Adamitis is getting his shot here to be our long snapper. Then you can see the updated practice squad where Antoine Powell-Ryland is now the edge guy in that practice squad. So you can pause that, take a gander if you would like. I'm excited, though. to have Nakobe Dean back. I know a lot of people, are asking what's going to happen, and I'm not really sure what Vic Fangio is going to do because we all saw what Nakobe Dean did last year. He's a great leader, a great player. So when healthy, it's hard not to have him on the field. But Jahad Campbell's awesome. So maybe you use Jahad Campbell a little more as an edge guy as well in that rotation. Now that you don't have Nolan Smith or Okoronkwo, or I don't know what you want to do. Maybe just a rotation of the three, or use three at the same time. Not really a team that uses, we're not old school. This isn't like a 4-3 kind of team. More so your nickel, whether even if it's a 3, a 5, a 4-man front. So I think, it's going to be very intriguing to see Nakobe Dean back and what they do. But I'm happy. I like the guy, and maybe he's a trade piece for one of those things we're talking about getting. Now, up next, we'll talk about the Denver Broncos, and they've got a few injuries going on here. So, as always, I will keep you up to date with the Eagles and the Broncos. So tomorrow, during the top matchup show, you will get an update on this injury report. And let's take a look at what the Broncos have going on here. And nothing too major, luckily for them. Nate Adkins, he is the only person that did not practice, with a concussion, losing my drift there. Jonah Ellis, he was limited with his rib injury. Marvin Mims, limited. He was questionable the last game. So hip, now ankle injury. So we'll keep our eyes on these injuries. Nick Benito and Alex Singleton, both full participants. So great news for the Broncos there. And if you're looking to see what their depth chart looks like and their injury lists and their practice squad, well, you can go check out Behind Enemy Lines that I put out last night, and you can get to know everything about the Eagles' Week 5 opponent, the Denver Broncos. But that's all I've got for you here on this show. If you enjoyed it, do me a favor, hit that like button, share this bad boy, subscribe, join the family, hype this video up. Appreciate all of you doing everything you can to support the channel. Can't thank you enough for all of your support. Hope you're having yourselves a great week so far. Until next time, though, for that top matchup show tomorrow, and then game status report, and then practice squad elevations, and anything in between. Hope to hear from you then. Let me know how you're feeling about this game. Reach out if you need me. Does not have to be about the Birds. I'm always here for you guys as you are for me. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, go Birds!